Om Mahaganapataye Namaha. Why you should be careful of how you think of other people. In order to explain this, I want to share a very quick story that helped illustrate it for me and really drive it home. Even though we know these things, this story just helps it make sense. So this story comes from the Vedic tradition. There once was a merchant, and this merchant was a dealer of sandalwood logs. And for some reason, he was unable to sell anything for 2 to 3 years. And then one day, he started having thoughts. Well, if the king dies, I'll be able to sell all these logs to them for the ceremonies, and because he's the only one wealthy enough to buy all this and make up for what I haven't been able to sell. And also, then the king started thinking, well, if the merchant dies, I'll be able to collect all of his wealth and have him add it to the treasury. And so one day these two were out and about, and they met each other and told each other of the evil thoughts they were having towards one another. And the moral of the story was they discovered it was because the merchant started having the evil thoughts towards the king in turn started having the evil thoughts towards the merchant. So the lesson here is whatever you think of other people, and in general, the God, there's a saying, and also in the Vedic tradition, it says, "You only receive what you give," whether it's in this life or other life. Whatever you put out is what you're getting back. So if you think of somebody, even if they aggravate you, they irritate you and all these things, it's really just your ego being irritated. And it's important to not focus on them. It's not them, because everyone is divine. It's okay to not like their tendencies or some characteristics of their ego that may upset you, or your ego. But in general, the moral is, if you think of other person, evil thoughts of other person, negative of other person, oh, this person's stupid, they irritate me, etc., etc. They in turn, through the cause of the law of cause and effect, are going to also have this, and there's going to be a friction in the relationship. So a simple way to fix relationships is to hold positive thoughts. In general, it's best to always keep your mind focused on positivity, and that can be very difficult being rooted in the ego identity. Ego in the West can mean, oh, this person's got a big ego. Oh, he's very he looks down on other people. Ego doesn't necessarily mean that. Ego just means your limited identity, from the perspective that everyone is God, and so the ego as a limited identity is just representing a very small piece of an infinite intelligence, which is based on love. So just keep that in mind. And another tip that Dr. Ply, my teacher, has shared before with relationships is it's best to approach relationships with every moment being new. So don't hang on to something they said yesterday, or even in a few sentences ago. Keep the slate clean, so you're always able to sort of operate from a open perspective. So you don't get caught up in all the garbage and the emotional baggage, so to speak. So live in the moment and give this a try. Um, that's all I have to share. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the video below. I've been having troubles with comments being disabled on my videos. I'm not really sure why that's going on, but I'm going to try to fix that. So that's all. Thanks a lot.